Hear ye. Haters now in session. And I don't even want to start this off without so let's kick that off.
Yeah,
we gonna place that real right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, real right. We gonna do this real right. Classic. Yeah.
Hold up. Blah. This ain't entertainment. It's 4 niggas on a slave ship. These soldiers and spirituals I swam against them waves with. Ended up on shore to their amazement. I hope the example I set's not contagious. Lock us behind gates but can't tame us. Used to be stay safe, now stay dangerous. Cause ain't no point playing defense, nigga. That's why I dove off the deep end, nigga, without a life jacket. Couple mils, run the world, on my life cracking. Cook the books, bring it back so it's no taxes. Royalties, publishing, plus our own masters. I'd be damned if I slave for some white crackers. I was mapping this out, I hit the heights backwards. Hopping out the 85 and Reebok classics. Read a couple marathons just to get established. To make it happen, you got to have dedication, hard work, plus patience. Some more of my sacrifice, I'm done waiting. Told you that I wasn't playing. Now you hear what I've been saying. Dedication. Dedication.
Yeah. So first things first, we gotta say rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, man. We're gonna get into these intros and then we're gonna get right back to it. Start with my man Palm.
Yo, what's good, man? It's your boy Palm. I don't even got an alias today, man. It's about the hood.
Word up, Smith. No alias today neither, bro.
It's your boy Colton, and I think I'm gonna use All Get Right. His song, the name of the title of one of his songs, All Get Right. That's gonna be my AKA because we all gonna get right.
Facts.
Based off like just the impact and stuff that he had within the community, just within black people, the way he gave back, the way he wasn't scared.
Yeah.
You guys want to start off by talking about like maybe your favorite song by him or favorite verse?
Shit, I could start like that third verse is my favorite verse. Like these songs are just them spirituals. I swim against them waves, but it's like it's certain verses you hear and you like, oh, he's special. You get what I'm saying? Like I've been a fan of Nipsey since Bullets Ain't Got No Name, but that was the verse where I was like, oh nah, he made it to that point where he's special. You get what I'm saying? So like he's one of those dudes where like when you get older and you start to grow in your consciousness as you learn, you know what I'm saying? A lot of your idols tend to not be your idols no more, but you respect them for what they
don't grow with you.
They don't grow with you. You get what I'm saying? Like Nipsey was one of those dudes where even in my unconsciousness and coming into my consciousness, he was part of both of those. You feel me? Like he spoke with both of those. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of those artists that made me grow. And you know what I'm saying? And really take a look at myself. Like what do I want to do with my artistry and really set the example for people like me and what I could do with my artistry. So he stood for that for me. You know what I mean? Like his wins was my wins. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw a lot of what I want to do in him, period. You know what I mean? So that third verse, you know what I'm saying, when he's talking about owning his masters, royalties, you know what I'm saying, knowing how to cook the books, and that's the type of shit I'm learning, you feel me? Like, so he was just different, you know what I mean? Like, he's one of those people I still had that kind of fanhood and idolhood for, you know what I mean? So it's a tough one still, like now. It's almost a week later, you feel me?
I don't think it'll ever like be. I mean, we gonna get right, like you said, but we'll never fully get right.
It'll never be the same. It'll really never be the same.
A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you'll hear Nipsey's song and remember that he's no longer with us, and that shit is gonna hurt the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
But like, I don't know, a Nipsey verse that I really love.
I can play it too. Just
the second verse of Racks in the Middle.
Second
verse of Racks in the Middle.
Explain it, then I'm gonna play it.
It's crazy. He in that verse he talks about the same things he always talks about, you know, owning and having just closed on 2 commercial properties, and he couldn't even be happy about it because his man Fats is no longer with us as well.
Fats.
And he had a bar in the song where he was like, how you died 30-something after banging all them years. Yeah. And that bar is gonna, that shit plays on a loop in my head.
Right.
Since last Sunday. That shit's been on a loop in my head because it's just like, how?
Yeah.
How you live through all them wars and then die being a civilian.
Yeah, and that's like the worst, literally like the worst part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel me?
And on home turf.
Facts. And then he says he says a couple bars later about, you know, what he would tell his mans if it was him. Yeah, and you know, that's to keep going with our dream. Yeah. Keep going with the vision. And that's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta do. We gotta reach the heights.
Yeah. Crash and burn, but it was working for it. Trying to rebuild. Look, I was riding around in the V12 with the racks in the middle. Had to pray to Almighty God, they let my dog out the kennel. When you get it straight up out the mud, you can't imagine this shit.
You see, like,
I've been pulling up in the drop tops with the baddest bitch. Young nigga been focused on my check. Got a new coupe wrapped around my neck. Trying to put the water on my potato. I got killers to the left of me. Look, under no condition would you ever catch me slipping. Motorcaded shooters plus the Maybach chauffeur driven. If they catch me with it, don't send me off to prison. Judge ain't sympathizing, court don't show forgiveness. Engine in the Lambo drowning out the music. Sip Dior with the flowers, 5 gold Cubans. Champagne while I shop, hope I splurge foolish. Closing escrow twice this month, both commercial units. Damn, I wish my nigga Fast was here. How you died 30-something after banging all them years? Grammy nominated, in the sun of shedding tears. All this money, power, fame, and I can't make you reappear. But I'll wipe them though. We just embrace the only life we know. If it was me, I'd tell you, nigga, live your life and grow. I tell you, finish what we started, reach the heights, you know. Gas the V12 to the pipe and smoke. I was riding around in the V12.
Smoke that, bro.
Smoke that fucking. Smoke that. My God, my nigga.
Yeah, my favorite is Face the World, the second verse.
That's
because I know you guys know me and you guys like know the type of music like I like to listen to and the type of rap that I like to listen to. And I like hearing people speak on their pain and experiences in a very realistic, almost visceral type of like, if you don't get it, you don't get it type of way. Cause like, I was always big on you gotta be yourself, and no matter what people think, you gotta let people know who you are. Because at the end of the day, when you get to a certain level, people are gonna try to, like we were talking about earlier, people are gonna try to pull those cards and try to use yourself against you. If you're not comfortable with who you are, then like there's no way you're gonna make it in life. And like I felt like this verse, it was on Crenshaw, and Crenshaw, that was like one of the first tapes to pop, like for real, and put him on like that certain level. And I will always remember like hearing that second verse and being like, yo, look how far like this nigga came. Like, like from the marathon to like now, from like Hustle in the House to now.
Hustle in the House,
it was just like, look how far he came. And to him to even
late night, early mornings,
and even him to still have like that, like to never forget where he came from. It was like really like, and that second verse is just like everything to me. And like the first part where he's like, if we don't die here, we're supposed to fly layers. Like that part like kind of fucks me up because it's like, damn son, like he did both. Like it's like it's hard, it's scary, it's scary, but it's not. It's also kind of comforting because at the same time he was always one of those people that he knew that like he'd rather be in his hood and put himself in danger and help his people than move millions of miles away and be that nigga that turned his back on where he's from. So I'm gonna just play the verse.
cry tears, they don't fly here. And if you don't die here, you're supposed to fly leers. 365 here is like a dog year. No wonder why these niggas 20 and got white hairs. Stressing like they 40 and some change. Slowly in this game, all my homies is in pain. And Brody is the slang, but it don't mean he your brother. It don't mean you can trust him. It don't mean that he love you. And we was raised wrong, but we stayed strong. And when we kept it real, we got faked on. And when we showed up, we got flaked on. But why them niggas story getting cake on? I bet my life I'm a dice shaker. Electric lights on a skyscraper. It's up and downs for a real nigga. But you'll be lame all your life, hater. Mac 10 in my black Benz. Show me signals of betrayal, can't be back friends. Long flights get my mind right. Victory to me is when you spend your time right. Victory to me is when you get your grind right. Victory to me is when you get your minds right. Niggas got this shit twisted like Jean-Michel Basquiat destroyed his pictures. Self-inflicted homicide, don't pull the trigger. I feel like I got to tell you, you got something to contribute. Regardless what you into, regardless what you been through, I feel like I got to tell you, you got something to contribute. Something to contribute, something to contribute.
And when this song first came out, that was around, this was 2013, and this was around the time when I was like, I came to you about rapping, and I was kind of scared.
Both of us, yeah.
Like, we was both like about to be like, yo, let's be serious about this. And that whole summer, I remember us bumping, man, Nipsey, Dom, OIG, like all these niggas had a big summer, and I just remember like from their message, just hearing niggas being like, this is us.
Yeah, it gave us that.
It gave us the energy. It put the battery in our back, and it made me like, no matter who you are, you got something to contribute. The marathon will always continue. Yeah. We always running this fucking race, and we can't stop.
Right.
And I'm getting kind of emotional. Shit is crazy. It's just wild. Like, I've been thinking about like mortality a lot, and like being in the hood, and like, and just thinking about like how the thoughts of always being like, damn, like maybe if you moved out, like nah, that shit is not valid. Like, you can't be scared to help niggas. That's not how you help. Like, that's literally the government are scared to help niggas.
You know what's really crazy as shit about when shit like this happens and a nigga like Nip die in the hood from another nigga in the hood type shit. Like, that nigga thinks he's getting that nigga out the hood. Like, you just made that nigga immortal. You just made that nigga live forever.
And you also just birthed 10,000 more Nipsey Hussle.
And there's no way in hell that you could ever be able to still walk around that hood and feel like that nigga's not there.
Right.
And he took himself out the hood by doing that. So I really didn't see any good end goal in this plan. Like,
yeah, and that's the part I've been struggling with. Like, what is the takeaway here? And I think for me, the takeaway has been what he laid here was the seeds. You get what I'm saying? Like, and it made me understand how big like this picture really is. You get what I'm saying? Like, we this hurts so bad because Nipsey was doing exactly what we all wanted to do and what we expected a lot of people that we looked up to do. You get what I'm saying? And him being gone, it's like, who else is gonna do that? You know what I'm saying? And I think that it made me be realistic. Like, yo, we can't bank on one person to be that.
That's a fact.
You get what I'm saying? We need Nipsey Hussles all over the world. That's and you don't gotta be a rapper to do that.
That's a fact.
You don't gotta be famous to do that. Like, you could be a regular person from the hood and you could do that. Like, you get what I'm saying? And that's been my takeaway. Like, we all have, he left us all with a piece of him. You get what I'm saying? So it's on us to take that piece and be that piece of the puzzle that we need to be. Or else we failed, you know what I'm saying? His mission and our mission in general and our purpose here on this earth. So it was that realization. And I think the scary part, right? Like, coming into consciousness, I had a lot of meditation moments and prayer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you take on this stance, what's gonna happen to you? You feel me? Like, what's gonna happen to you? And it was like, people like us, you know what I'm saying? When we get to these platforms and we start standing for something bigger, the target gets bigger. You get what I'm saying? And it was that confirmation, like, yeah, is real. Like, that's not a joke. Like, and that conversation you had wasn't no joke. Like, if this the path you want, this could be how it happens for you. You know what I'm saying? Fast. And that's how real it is. And it's like, that's why we have to do it.
Yeah.
Because look at his effect. It's bigger than, you know what I'm saying, him not being here. Look at his effect.
His memorial is about to be at Staples Center. Like, a rolling 60s Crip is about to have his memorial in Staples Center with mad LAPD protecting them and also showing love. Like, it was way bigger than rap. And it's always been way bigger than rap. And I think the one good takeaway we could take away from this is roles. Like, I feel like people are understanding their roles now. Like, we need everybody.
Yep.
We don't need to shun gay people no more. We don't need to shun these people. Like, if you're trying to put whatever sectionality above your blackness, we don't want any parts. But if you are willing to put your blackness above all, we will all be willing to work together to actually get to the end goal that we're trying to make to. Right. And I feel like Nipsey is showing people that, like, literally, anyone who said anything bad about Nipsey Hussle has been attacked by literally everybody. Everyone that's either, not even only black, like, just he was international. So, like, we gotta realize, we realizing our roles, even with the Crips and the Bloods coming together, like, to have the memorial. Like, people are realizing the role. Like, it's bigger. It's way bigger than that. It's about the community. It's about the neighborhoods. It's about the hoods. It's about just black people in general. Us just getting together, black people, and not only black people, because Nipsey was mad big on, nigga, when Donald Trump was talking about the wall, he was one of the first niggas to be like, fuck it, we gonna fuck with the Mexicans. If y'all trying to fuck with us, we fuck with y'all. So it's just like, we are all minorities out here. Like, we are all, and even some of the white people that's poor are, like, fucked up out here. So we gotta realize that, like, shit is way bigger than this. Like, it's not only
that shit is that's definitely one of the few positives that has come out of this. Like, niggas in the hood realizing that this shit is bigger than my hood. This shit is bigger than your hood. This shit is about, like, all of us. This shit is about not even just us niggas in the street doing dumb street shit. You feel me? This shit is about our little ones. This shit is about our fucking forefathers. This shit is about our parents. This shit is about the community as a whole.
That's a fact.
So you feel me? That's one of the great positives that have come out of this tremendous tragedy.
That's a fact. So, as dudes who, like, have been influenced by Nipsey Hussle, like, what do you think? Okay, so before I even get to that, we had a talk in the group chat, like, a very interesting talk. I'm not gonna get into super details about it, but at a point I was questioning y'all about, like, certain street people's, like, reach into the streets and stuff like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So Daylight went on and was talking about people with platforms, and they're all sad about Nipsey, but why they not doing the things that he's doing?
Right.
Like, I agree 100%, but how do you think we could, like, what do you think would be a good way to start that off, like, to get all the people with higher platforms to, like, come together and realize that, like, it's probably just bigger than all this regular shit. We gotta go back and feed our own hoods. We gotta go back and do this to our own neighborhoods. How do you propose that? Because, you know, there's that side that's gonna be like, that's not their business.
Well, there's the one side of it as it pertains to especially this situation. Like, the niggas who he was naming in his video and shit, it was just like, nigga, them niggas ain't from that. I don't expect them to be doing nothing like what he was doing. That the first nigga name he said was Drake, and I'm just like, nigga, Canada. Drake?
He's from Canada.
You talking about a nigga who's been famous since he was a teen, compared to a nigga who was committing crimes as a teen? Like, they're incomparable. So I could understand why they their actions as adults don't match up as it pertains to community and shit like that.
Right.
Like it what he was saying made sense. Like the premise of what he was saying, I understand.
Nah, keep talking. You good.
The premise of what he was saying, I understand, but everything else, it was just like the names he naming and shit like that. It's just like you just want to make a video that's going to get views. I get you, but the premise basically is absolutely correct. These niggas that's profiting off of the culture should be putting more back into the culture outside of music and fucking fashion.
Right. But outside of like handing out turkey,
and a lot of niggas do. A lot of niggas do, and don't want that type of publicity and shit like that.
And that could go into my question. Do you think they should start being more openly about it? Like, not like publicly, like flexing on people, like look how much I'm doing for niggas, but be more public. Like, you know how they do the challenges. Like, I challenge you to do. I feel like
there's the niggas that need to do it know who they are and they do it. Mm-hmm. Because the niggas that need to do it aren't doing it for the public or, you feel me, for that recognition. They doing it to show the niggas like Nipsey, the niggas like 21, even the shit that Hove do silently that we find out about. Them niggas is doing shit like that to show niggas like us that, yeah, we did that other shit, but you could grow up and do this shit right here too. Mm-hmm. This shit is cool too. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, shooting niggas, selling drugs, chains, bitches, all that, get money, that shit cool. That shit is wavy. Yeah. But this shit is wavy too.
Yeah.
Helping kids.
Yeah, I think
helping your community. Yeah, shit like that.
I think it left that lasting message on a lot of people. Like, a lot of people, especially from the hood, like, they see the bigger picture now. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we always talk about the cause and all of that. You know what I mean? What everybody's been talking about Nipsey wasn't that. It wasn't that he was fly. It wasn't that he had to change. They talk about what he did and the impact he left. You get what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people are starting to come to that realization. You feel me? But to answer your question, how do we start that is we got to do it for self first. You get what I'm saying? Because you can't go to nobody like, hey, let's help the community, and the community not helping itself. They're not going to know where to begin. You get what I'm saying? So we, on the ground level, while we're still here, we have to start building these connections. So as we continue to excel and grow in our careers, we're able to do more with what we have. And that's why we need to do with what we have now. You get what I'm saying? Even if it's just volunteering a little bit of your time. As you know what I'm saying, progress in your careers and what you do, you'll be able to give back a little bit more. You get what I'm saying? Even if it's not your time, but you might be able to put somebody else in that volunteer position, and then you might be able to donate to them as you put other people in that position and bring more people in. That's how you got to think of it and think of the bigger picture here and why we can all, as a collective unit, play our roles. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like anything. Our body's made up of different things that make the body work, how it works. So as the black community and the human race as a whole, we all do our part. It all starts to fix itself.
That's a fact.
Every single human being, you know what I'm saying? If we can touch one person, that's literally doing your part in the ecosystem. And that's how we got to continue to think as human beings on this earth. And that's something that I came to even before this, you know what I mean? That's why I've been moving how I've been moving, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've gotten the message before, but even so now is the confirmation, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, what we got going on is real. It's not no facade and it's not no fake shit. Like, even if, you know what I'm saying, like, we not big, but people gonna understand what we left, you know what I'm saying, here for people to go back and absorb and talk about it. Maybe we'll inspire somebody else to do the same. And I think that's our job, you know what I'm saying, on this earth, to inspire as many people as we can. So, you know what I mean? That's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? If we start at the bottom and do our parts, then we can say, hey, look, we're doing our parts as human beings. Y'all that can contribute more. How can y'all contribute more?
Okay. So, have you guys heard the Andrew Schultz, his opinion on basically.
I just want to preface this whole part of the conversation where I hate Andrew Schultz. I don't like no white person that feels like they are an authority on anything
black,
or anything not white for that matter. Mm-hmm. Like you just talk about white shit, bro. Don't talk about nothing that got to do with anything that I'm a part of.
Mm-hmm. Now, I will preface before I continue with, he's a funny guy, but his whiteness always prevails. Mm-hmm. That's like a thing that like,
I also don't think he's funny.
Literally seen like in almost every interview ever. Like he's smart, but I think he fakes out ignorance to get listened sometimes. And I don't appreciate that, especially when it comes to the black community. Because his opinion on Nipsey Hussle was he should move out of the hood. Mm-hmm. He's a guy of high status. He shouldn't be there. He's in a gang. He should leave the gang. That was his stance. He should leave the gang because he's a man of high status.
Like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Hold on. Now, I already went on a rant about this on Twitter, and it's crazy that Andrew Schultz could sit here and be like, he has to leave his gang to be legitimate, instead of just saying that as a white man, I believe black gangs cannot be legitimate and they're all about violence and there's no way anyone can survive being in a black gang. Because that's literally what it sounded like.
You know what's crazy about that? And we've seen evidence of this past week as well. He won't say that about a fucking Hell's Angel.
He wouldn't, because the Hell's Angel is a legitimate murder motorcycle gang that has merch that he would never ever be like, why would this guy leave? Why didn't this guy leave the Hell's Angels?
You know what it is? How I took it after being extremely irritated by it. What they were saying was like, yeah, you know, they were worried about this take or whatever. So that I understand that he planned to have that stance and he planned to have the conversation that way. So I'm not excusing them. What I'm saying is, in that planning, nobody said this is not a good stance.
This is not a good stance. This
is not the time to be that.
Because there was black people in that planning.
It's not. You get what I'm saying?
And not only that, this is in my opinion, that is the stupidest hill to die on. When it comes to opinions of a person in a gang that's actually doing mad good, in a gang that's actually putting mad shit into his community while being in the gang, and you think his smartest idea would be to get out of that gang.
And this is me speaking to not just West Coast gang culture, because that is totally different gang culture than anybody outside of California can understand or even fathom. Like, niggas don't, if you're not from there or are privy to the information that you should know about what goes on there, like, you'll never understand. This is me talking to gang culture as a whole. Like, that's not how it works.
Right.
There's no nigga in no gang nowhere, no matter how thorough or gangster or whatever you think this nigga is, that looks at his organization like it's not an organization. It's not a family.
That shit is crazy, because Andrew Schultz is smart enough to know the Yakuza is a criminal organization that is official. He is smart enough to know that the Mafia is a criminal organization that has official business. He is smart enough to know the Hell's Angel has official merchandising, and they're a murderous, meth-selling motorcycle gang.
All of those organizations you just named, their members consider themselves family. And they don't consider themselves members of Lodge 357. They consider themselves a fucking family. So that means if something happens to one of them, something happened to all of them.
I've literally never seen a bunch of gang niggas like, yeah, we just a bunch of random niggas together wearing the same color. Literally never seen that ever. Like, oh yeah, we just so happen to wear the same color, so we was like, hey, let's just meet up, y'all. Like, that's literally has never happened.
Yeah, it just speaks to people's ignorance on gangs, period. Because people were like, yeah, you see, this is how, the Crips should get more organized. I was like, he's a snitch. That means he's not part of, like, that anymore. He's a Crip that's now a snitch.
I don't think they understand.
Like, y'all gotta understand it. Like, certain shit is just out of order. You get what I'm saying? There's organization completely down the line. There's organization down the line, through and through. I'm not gonna go.
What's that nigga? What's the American nigga that snitched? The famous American nigga that snitched. Paul Revere.
The red coat, the fake red coat nigga.
That's it. Like that's I think that's the only way you can explain it to niggas. Mm-hmm. Like, he's no longer niggas don't consider him American anymore because he fucking traded. He's a traitor. Mm-hmm. He turned on the country. Like, that is
I think Paul Revere is a nigga that pretended to be British, right? And then
did he say the British?
The British are coming. He's the nigga that pretended to be British and then pulled up on us like the British is coming.
Oh, okay. So he's the nigga who's not the snitch.
Yeah, he's not the patriot. But he a snitch to Britain. You get what I'm saying?
He is a snitch to Britain.
So it still stands.
It's still the same shit.
You get what I'm saying? So Britain don't claim
the nigga
that
not
man.
good in England.
Yeah.
They told him, like, yo, fam, you not one of us. You told on us. So,
like, the nigga, I mean, I feel like people gotta understand this. Once you devote your life to the streets, once you become a street person, snitching has become something that is out of rule. Mm-hmm. That is the ultimate sin. You are no longer a street person once you do this.
At all.
Because you just don't any semblance of the rule book. Like, fuck it.
You're not even a person. You're just.
Because it's not even a rule book. That's just like one rule on a piece of paper, nigga. Like, you can't tell.
Don't tell. If you did the crime, don't tell. Even if you didn't do the crime, don't tell. If you part of the organization,
you've committed to this. If a nigga can snitch on niggas people that he's gone outside and done crime with, he will tell on his mother. Mm-hmm. He will tell on his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. He will put his child in prison before he goes there. Mm-hmm. So he's nothing. He's bad to the black community.
Yeah.
Like, he's bad to the community as a whole.
Yeah. So it's like,
because he is for self.
Yeah. It's like ignorance. And people want to point fingers. And so it's just a lot of confusion going around.
I just don't like when those fingers are white and they're pointing it at black people.
Right.
Yeah, man, because I'll break every one of them motherfucking fingers.
I really don't agree with that. Because that
break
shit is...
all them shit.
That shit is wild. Because it's like, at the end of the day, like, if you... And the thing that really kind of pissed me off is, like, he's smart. He tried to pose it as like a question, like nobody talked to him about this before. He was just like, but I get what you're saying, but like, no, don't but like, because every time you ask a question, they answered your question perfectly, and then you're trying to bring another angle in that doesn't fucking make sense because you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Don't talk about it. Like, and honestly, I don't hate him, but just don't fucking, like, I hate when he speaks on black issues. Because it's just like, bro, like, we understand you don't understand.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got to say. Mm-hmm. Stop trying to add your little 2 cents. Because I guess you're trying to be funny, but it's not funny.
Yeah. So, it's just like it got to be checks and balances. You get what I'm saying? So, it's kind of like, even with us, it's like certain shit. Like, you'd be like, Trey, you might not want to be the super non-violent guy because you've been violent before. So, you might need to embrace the violence and then say you've grown from the violence. But, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there's a way you coach people into having conversations. And I just don't feel like that was the time.
Yeah.
Was very wrong to do so. And with that, it's just like, even that article, you know what I mean? It's like people want to have conversations about shit. It's like, it's not time for you niggas' opinions on anything about this man right here. What needs to happen is we need to celebrate him and his legacy. We don't want to hear your constructive criticism
and
about.
I think so.
I'm gonna be 100 bands. I don't never want to hear.
Yeah.
There's not ever gonna be a time where I'm gonna be okay with hearing you talk negatively about a man whose life was stolen from him.
I literally don't think that I've ever seen anyone like successfully get a message across trying to attack people during death or mourning. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like these are oppressive tactics that have been used against the people, us, literally, that we're trying to dish back to our own people during a time of hurt. And like, I feel like if you want to have that conversation, fine, let's have that conversation. But you don't have to bring another person's name into that conversation, because it had like
you don't need Nipsey Hussle to talk about homophobia.
You don't.
If you've done like, and my issue was with that was like, either he addressed it, so either you didn't know he addressed it and you still wrote this article, which means you didn't do your homework, violation, or you knew and you completely looked over it to push an agenda.
To try violation. To use weird oppressive either way you tactics. Look at it, don't do it.
Yeah, either way you look at it, it's just like, this is the one, not the time, and this is a false allegation. So please just stop doing that. Like, everybody just needs to relax.
And I think the other thing that especially with like that article within itself is like, I don't think anyone is like, homophobia is not a problem. Like, we know that homophobia is a problem. We know the statistics and shit that happens within you guys' community. We want to have these conversations and stuff, but please don't use it to slander another man or to put false allegations against someone, especially because I'm a firm believer in niggas have bad past. But unless what that person does is detrimental, like, I don't see a reason to slander that person.
Right.
Like, I have never heard Nipsey Hussle say anything detrimental, like, yo, go kill gay people, or anything like that on that behalf that's super detrimental to their community, or push like some agenda where he's just like, oh, they doing this and they doing that, or they evil or some shit like that. So that's why I didn't understand why people was even bringing it up at that moment, because it's like, I feel like we use these I told you so tactics too fast now, especially with the PC you're supposed to be sorry for whatever you say culture, like, and people are forgetting that it's easy to Google some shit. It's easy to wait a week or two to then be like, oh, since we're all solid and together now, since we all have an understanding that black is above everything, let's talk about this. You can do that mad easily. You can show that man love, or even not even show him love, and just start to see, like, I see that everyone's coming together, let's talk about this. That's a way to go about it.
Right.
I don't see the point in, like, using your clickbaity type of, this person is this, and then I don't want to read your article if I see that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I really don't want to read your article.
What happens
because even if in the article he said, like, oh yeah, I read the stuff and I realize he's not, but like, I still don't even want to read it, because at this point it's hateful. It just seems hateful. It literally, that's like literally if a gay person died and a straight person was like, this person hated straight people, why should we care? Right. Like, why the fuck would that be? Why would you even do that at this moment?
That's very selfish to take. Somebody just passed away and then think of how they felt about you, especially in terms of his relationship to the community, period, and then not check it to see if it's even a right feeling to have, because he cleared it up in the first place. So you're saying hateful things about a man who's not what you say he is, and he just passed and everybody's in mourning. It's not the time for that. And it's like, you're attacking us still. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, we've all come to an awakening and learning that y'all are our brothers too.
Brothers and sisters. Like,
we're not here to fight y'all on
We're not trying to fight y'all.
So, but when you do that, it doesn't make the conversation easier for us to have. It doesn't help anything progress. It does not help the relationship grow. It doesn't nurture the relationship. It furthers the divide. So we got to be careful with what we say and what we do and how we use our platforms. And I'm going to speak to the brother in person about that, because it's way bigger than beefs. You feel what I'm saying? Like, sure, we can get into it. We can disagree. We can handle it however we handle it. But we got to understand that it's bigger than our bullshit feelings sometimes. It's
bigger than everything.
And this was a time that it was bigger than social media and our bullshit feelings.
That's a fact.
Let's get into Final Hate, man.
I think mine's more serious. I think you want me to let you go last?
Yeah.
My final hate is to just anybody who's just tried, all the people who are trying to sectionalize their blackness and like try to make sure that something specific besides being black is more important than us just all coming together and figuring out what our bigger issues are. Yeah. Like, I understand that as black people, we are sectionalized. There are people that do this, people that like that, people that like, you get what I'm saying? So, of course, we have to get to all of those things. But in wake of moments like this, I don't think that's the time to be like, let me attack this side or let me attack that side. Let me show hypocrisy through using this person's death as an example. Or let me like, I don't think, unless the person was detrimental, and I always say that. So I feel like the sectionalized blackness shit, like, we gotta like let that go. Like, we really do. Like, we're black women, black men, the black LGBT community. Like, we all have to just literally come together, have these conversations outside of like the moments like this. Like, outside of the moments where you think that I'm gonna get the most clickbait, I'm gonna get the most people to be on this rally. Like, do the rally when people are engaged and trying to have that conversation. I think just the sectionalized blackness shit, like, really, really bothers me. The light skin, dark skin, like, all that shit. Like, I've been rethinking, like, a lot. And, like, I can't lie, I come from a place where I've demonstrated some of those things. Like, just the sectionalized blackness, like, trying to, like, just being a black man in general and shit. But you got to realize that, like, we're just all black. Like, we're all black people. All black. Everyone has a role. Man. Everyone has a place. Everyone is able to do whatever they want. And we want you guys to bring your talent, your skills, your heart, your soul, everything into the community so we can pour that back into the community so we can keep thriving and flourishing. Facts. So all that sectionalized blackness shit, like, it gotta go. It gotta go. Facts. That's it.
Yeah, man. My final hate is that there's not, like, flavored breast milk sold.
Yo, I needed that, man. I needed that. That's a fact, though. Cambodian.
You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. You know, you get a nice mango peach Cambodian breast milk, nice. You get what I'm saying? With a nice scrambled egg whites. You get what I'm saying? Some bacon. You feel me? Well, no bacon for me, but you know, just for y'all. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
You know, just giving y'all some ideas, man. Flavored breast milks.
Use your common sense.
Why is we drinking almond milk? Is we almonds?
We is humans. Is we drinking cow milk? Nigga, we not
cows, nigga? Animals, man. Can we be hamburgers? Well, we can't be hamburgers, but we not though. So,
alright. This is my favorite one. Let's get it.
I gotta finish with that because you kind of changed my final hate.
Oh, okay.
My final hate is hate is strong, but my final hate is the Eric Holder, man. Like, you stole something so precious from all of us. Something that you can't even put a measurable amount of anything on, like, what he stole from us over, like,
bullshit,
ignorance, stupid pride, ego. Like, that shit is he committed an act that is inexcusable, unforgivable.
That shit is literally treason to black people.
There's nothing he can do to gain good favor ever again in life.
Ever. Like, the universe is done with him.
Just end it. Yeah. Like, don't even force a trial. Don't make the state waste no money, bro.
Just put him in general population right now.
Or just do it yourself, bro.
Yeah, that's
just
a fact.
End it. Like, because we don't deserve nothing that anybody else on this earth.
It was an inhumane act, man.
Yeah.
Very inhumane.
Very, very.
Like, there's literally, like, no... Like I did the Doctor Strange 30,000 possibilities like head thing, and there's none. There's literally no answer.
I can't find none. So yeah, like, that's the first part of my final.
I got it. I know. I found the answer. But
there was one. We got the end game answer, but
the first part of my final hate was to that inhumane act that Eric Holder committed against all of us. That shit, yeah. And speaking of an inhumane act,
this is the second one.
Paul Pierce. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Where do you get off?
Where do you get off, mister?
Where do you get off?
Where do you get off, mister?
Talking about you had a fucking better career than Dwayne fucking Wade? Are you fucking serious?
His name is spelled so
Yo,
weird.
my nigga, first of all, you not even the best nigga from your fucking town that you from. You probably wasn't even the best nigga on your high school team. Like, nigga, calm down, all right? Ain't never been first team All NBA nothing. Mm-hmm. Never been considered for an MVP award.
Beatles?
Nigga, have you ever even been in a
rough.
Have you ever even heard of Paul Pierce being in the MVP race?
Nah.
And you're a great player.
And you're not even.
But pump your motherfucking brake. You got a little too much dip on your chip.
He be saying shit, man. That's really what it is. And they be like, yo, fam, why? Just stop. Please just stop while you're ahead. That's it.
That's
like,
it. Please.
Relax. Calm it down. Pump your fucking brakes. Don't you ever dare in your life speak on Flash name like that again.
Please don't speak on
that. Rude and disrespectful.
Rude and listen.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
That man used to take the basketball.
Let me tell you something. Dwayne Wade.
Dunked it on Fairchild.
Dwayne Wade fly to the rim. Rim round like a donut, Krispy Kreme. Yeah. Fuck up, man. Get out of here.
Paul Pierce don't got no picture with his hands out like this. Don't
fucking
you
doofus.
Nigga, you fucking bitch.
Fucking doofus. Antoine Antoine Walker looks fucking better than you, bitch. Fuck out of here.
Yo, remember when he was the third best player on the championship team?
Yeah. Getting spicy,
on his team.
Getting spicy. Fourth best, nigga. Rondo was there. Fuck you talking about?
Remember he got stabbed?
Dwayne Wade ain't never get stabbed by Trick Daddy.
Oh my God.
Yo, we got stabbed by Benzino. Alright, so we out. We out. Oh man, chill.